Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon to each and every one of you watching Gambian Talents TV. This is the first episode of the A Course of the Elect, where we bring you politicians to talk about pressing issues in the country and, of course, their policies as per their constituency. And here with me in this first episode is the National Assembly member for Kombo, is Honorable Abdou Sowe, who will actually take us through his educational background, how he entered into politics, and, of course, some of the developments he has brought to his constituency so far. Until then, let me give him the microphone and let him introduce himself, of course, for the benefit of those who don't actually know who is. But then I guess he's a household name. The name, so by now he should be known by almost everybody in the country. Good day, Honorable.
Good morning. Good morning, my brother. How are you doing? It's a pleasure to have you here today.
Nice, Honorable. Before we get into the program proper, can you take us through your educational background? Where did you study your schooling, and where did you live?
Yes, as usually, I always put it to people that I am hailed here in Bonto, and I went to primary school at Cloro Primary School in the mid 80s, and I graduated my basic education at St. Augustine Senior Secondary School. We were the second batch of the senior secondary school education system. And I was a science student. I was a pure science student, and I completed my senior secondary schools with 8 credits, including all my science subjects. And because of my family background then, I was unable to further my education. My ambition was to be a medical doctor, and the only alternative that I had was to go to Ghana to study. Unfortunately, I could not have scholarship, or I did not got enrolled in the School of Nursing to pursue my studies. Then I diverted my course and went to the Gambia College and graduated as a teacher, and went for teaching. I taught for only 1 academic year. Then I grabbed a scholarship from the London Chamber of Commerce and Industry to divert my course into commerce. I was sponsored by the London Chamber of Commerce to undergo an advanced diploma in business studies and financial accounting. Then in the early 2000, I was enrolled under the London Chamber of Commerce at the Institute of it used to be at Side Job Avenue. It was a renowned institute called at number 1 Side Job Avenue. Some people know it as Passignan School, but I had my lectures. It was a distant learning. I used to have my lectures at the GTTI and the MDI. My exams, it should have been 4 years. I squeezed it up to 9 months. And then I had my advanced diplomas then under the London Chamber of Commerce, LCCI, and I came up with merits. I merited all my key subjects. Then I further got another scholarship within them, and again I studied. I wanted to go under my HND, Higher National Diploma, under the London Chamber of Commerce, which I also obtained, and I got absorbed by the Trust Bank then. And I worked for Trust Bank for almost 9 months. I shifted, I traveled, I come back. Then again, I get into other IT courses. I studied, I obtained my higher national diploma in computer science. Then it used to be, we started it with the MS-DOS, the old version of computing, and this is what made me comfortable to work in the banking industry. Since then, I have been a banker, and undergoing courses. I went for overseas courses, in-house training courses. I was in Lagos for 3 times. Then again, I served in various departments and units of banking. I started being a cashier and a head teller. Then I worked into the business development unit as a public sector banker, a commercial banker. and a retail banker. In all these bankings, I headed units, and then finally I was into the risk management department, which I was the head of risk management and recoveries for many years. And I've been serving banking in the managerial level, and I always sit in the board to give updates to the board members. So I was a banker my banking career lasted for almost 19 years in all, until 2017, when I decided to venture into politics. I resigned, and then I get to politics. I contested for the first time in 2017 as an independent candidate. I lost, but I didn't lose courage. I maintained myself, and then I remained to be a businessman, an entrepreneur, to be working on civil engineering, contractual works. I was one time contracted at the UTG campus in Faraba on roadworks, which I did successfully. Upon that, I've also been involved in community development activities voluntarily, without anywhere I see I can intervene and I have the means, I will do, without having any party to support. From the revenues, from the profits that I gain, I share it with people, because one thing is, my feeling is, I belong to the people, and I think I am part of the people. And whatever, yes, and whatever I had, apart from feeding myself, I need not to save my money at the detriment of other people who need it. And I think you almost know this within my communities, that I get extra miles to make sure that I serve the people. So basically, this is what it is. In the Quranic, in the Islamic way too, I have undergone some Islamic classes at home. We locally call them daras, and I can be able to read and understand the Quranic verses, and I am taking through the disciplines of Islam. Yeah.
Good. That's quite important. I mean, looking, at your career, how it all started and where you are today, is something that actually you will be very proud of yourself and, of course, your family. Because I could remember you made mention of, studying science, but at some point, you get a point, you get a stage that you couldn't pursue your studies in pure sense, as a reason of probably maybe from the family you hail from a very humble family at the time, I believe. Good. As a result, you improvised. You didn't quit, you didn't stop, but then you changed to the alternative, either plan B, and try to study management at the, you went to Gambia College, I guess, study, you become a teacher, and then that's how your actually career keep on transitioning until you get yourself into the bank, do go undergo different studies, and then doors keep on opening. Let's have scholarship, overseas trip, studies, and come back. And then you decide to actually get into the banking system. It is one of the very important institutions in this country. Banks are very crucial. So having that, and then being an independent guy doing all these things, being a key guy in almost all the top departments in all those institutions, is something that actually comes with challenges and, of course, so many responsibility. As somebody, and of course, a low-key guy who actually, like you said, you're not that much on the public domain out there, but then your work is actually surfacing out there. Tell us, how was it going at the time when you actually know you are mounting this serious position, especially you made mention of the risk management. That's a very crucial, and a very critical aspect in the banking system. How do you go with issues like that at some point?
Good. What guided me most is my humbleness. I'm from a very humble family, and I get to realize myself within those ranks. And I think I need to be humble to gain what I want. And I clearly outlined my objectives in life, and I think I am running through them without turning back or looking by the sides. I am somebody that started very rough. My parents, both my parents were alive. My father was fallen sick, and we were left with our mom. Our mom was a trader, and she was just a vendor. struggling to meet our ends meet. And honestly, it always reminds me of being humble because the way I was brought up and having memories of the old days of my family, I thought I need to work harder to make sure I get to the level I am today and even beyond. And I think I'm on track, considering the stages that I went through to be who I am. This is why I am not easily being distracted. I'm focused because I know my goals and I'm going after my goals and I must achieve them. So when I get into the banking system, then it used to be a very scarce job. There used to be very limited banks, and I could remember around here, my brother, the time I started working as a banker, I was a unique person in this community. And I think this is when people get to know me. That doesn't make me to move from where I am here in Bonto. I used to travel from here because of knowing my family. I could not accommodate myself in the Kombos and then be taking care of my family. I kept it up with my family, and I always disciplined myself to be waking up early hours to board on the gele-geles and then be traveling from Bonto in the early hours to get to Banjul and Westfield. And this has been something that I adopted. And even to revise back during my school days, I stayed at home here. I will board vehicles here, get to Brikama, and board on the first bus to go to Banjul for my high school. And these things were because I am determined. I know where I want to be and I'm focused, and that's all I'm interested of. Nothing else, and nothing distracts me. And while I was in the banking too, I applied the same disciplines. I know I am working in a very crucial and a very delicate position, but I make sure that I feel content. As a head of risk management and as a credit analyst, I've faced so many compromises from customers, but they never tempt me because I wanted to serve diligently, because that was just a passage that I want to pass through and I'm going ahead. And I think if you have that kind of thing in mind, you'll be very mindful and be careful, be content, because it's a passage. It's a transit point that you need to walk ahead. So it's not a final destination of your life, and you need to move on. And this is what I keep considering myself to be. And this is why I'm always humble in society. Yeah.
Good. It's always good for one to be content, actually. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said we actually need to be content. Now, moving on, 2017, you shift from banking to politics now. What actually inspired you to enter into politics?
That's a very good question. I've not been a political fan before, although I affiliate myself to political parties. I was then affiliated to the APRC, and I have not been a politician on stage, but I've been somebody that is a sympathizer to the party because of the development agendas that I've seen coming up between 1994 and towards the early 2000s. So I felt he's a young president that is with the ambition to transform the country into what our dreams are then. And until 2017, when the change of government arises, and being a banker, knowing the economy and knowing the kind of transactions that are being held in our country, and the businesses that are going on, and how finances are being owned, the equities of people, the equities of Gambians and non-Gambians, as compared to the interests. We all know in the commercial banking system, we've seen how businesses goes and how do they enhance businesses, and who benefits, how many, if you take by statistics to know how many Gambians benefit facilities that are being given out to commercial banks against people that are in active businesses. It's like the opportunities are about to be lost by our own Gambian people. And I thought if I get into the National Assembly, I'll be able to advocate for um, for it to be under a very liberal and fair play system, that opportunities will be given, more service delivery will be offered to the needy people, and more sensitization, enlightenment, and better closeness between the banks and customers are to be put in place for customers also to understand the importance of money and the essence of money, not only spending but also investing, so that the investment opportunities for our local Gambian people be raised, be made understood, and then the commercial banks, what we know about what it's going. Because if you get into the lending system, you get into the recovery portfolios, you find a lot of defaulters, and most of these defaulters are local businesses, Gambians that own their businesses. If you look into the causes deeply, it might be lack of knowledge and expertise. So many people defaulted because they didn't know what are they to venture in investment, and what will be their investment returns, what are the risks. They will just be eager to get the loan approved and have it, spend it anyhow. So I think there should have been more to it for people to be enlightened. But to be candid, when I get into the assembly, it is a different thing. It's not as expected that yes, you can make things change alone. It's a parliament. It's a collective responsibility of people. You have to belong to certain committees to be able to showcase your expertise. You need to be listened at to make sure that you get the required quorum to get into some things that will benefit the people. It is totally a total different ball game compared to behind the scene when you were not in the parliament. You thought you can make something different. It's completely different, my brother. I must tell you that. Yes, so that is my number one inspiration to get in. Again, it was also to be said that there was a slogan going on to the young people that it is not too young to participate in the parliamentary. I confronted some of the young people of Kombo East to participate, and I will give support. But at the end of the day, no one volunteered, and I get into it to think that yes, I could be one of the young people that would be in the parliament in 2017. Unfortunately, that couldn't. I kept moving because
At that time, you ran as an independent, right?
yes, I ran as an independent candidate, and we were four contenders: the coalition candidate, the former MP, the APRC candidate, the GDC candidate, and myself as an independent. But I ran third after the APRC. So then I was even making a litmus test. But when I realized that yes, people's attention have grown onto me, and I've started running around the constituency to know the constraints of people, and already people have gained hope. At least if 1,000 plus voted for me for the first time, and they trusted me, why would I quit? So I kept doing my responsibilities as a trusted person in community, and I intervene in so many areas of intervention that are required. But I was not doing it because I want to show myself, but because I was doing it because I should be doing it because I'm entrusted. Even if I was voted by a single vote, there is trust for me within my constituency. I maintained it. I kept moving without any other outside support. I used my own resources to help and support and intervene to the level that, you know, I think, I become the household name. But believe me, before 2017, I was less known in my constituency because of my job. I only have my free days on Sundays. I had never stepped in other villages before 2017. Villages even like Kafuta Sangenga and Kafuta Tumbo, the Nijis and the others. That was my first time to step in. But when I stepped in and I saw their living conditions, that motivated me to keep up the struggle to make sure that yes, I represent them. And here I am today as their representative.
Great. It was a long journey, but then, as the saying goes, I mean, the patient dog eat the fattest bone. I mean, you've been waiting for this for so long, so Alhamdulillah. Now, you have the shade in the parliament through a UDP ticket. How did your shift from being an independent to actually joining a UDP came about?
Yes, first of all, I must thank the leadership of the United Democratic Party for having bestowed trust on me during the primaries. Although it was not something that I desperately go after. In fact, I was approached for more than 3 times. I rejected because it was not something willful to contest at the time because I was not prepared. And the reason being, it was a very saturated. The UDP contested in Kombo East during the presidential. They lost, and there was so much demoralization and loss of confidence in the militants of the UDP, thinking that things would not fall well again. And again, secondly, the candidate, the aspirant, the incumbent, also was interested, and he was a very close friend. And I could remember he one time confronted me, telling me that he need my support. I said yes, yes, I should support you. He said I should join the selection committee. I said no, I'm not an executive member. I'm just a sympathizer of the party, and I don't want to interfere. I kept on my businesses. To the time that they approached me, I was surprised that yes, this is what is happening. I rejected it twice for the reason that I cannot betray him. You know, to the third time that they went through my family, and my family convinced me and some other friends that yes, it is the formula because we thought you are the winning candidate. So if you did not contest, you must be somebody that we might lose the seat, all right? And it was meant for UDP. But I accepted with condition. One, they must refer back to the incumbent for him to invite me voluntarily and tell me that yes, I am declining and let you go, and which he did. One. Two, because I don't want to be a betrayer. Two, I must be somebody that will be let to design my own campaign strategy because I must know how to win my elections. I'm a choice of people. All political parties are being affiliated to me because people are not seeing me as a member of the UDP. People are seeing me in the constituency as somebody that is that has a cordial relationship at home, in the houses, in the families. So meaning everybody has confidence and hope in me. So irrespective of which political party you may belong to. Evident to that is my own home, Bonto. You could attest to it. You know, when we get into the polls, people that were swearing that they would never put their votes in the UDP ballots, voted for me. And they came back to me with tears that it is only you that will make me do this. And I said, thank you. So if those kind of people voted for me into office, I need to be very neutral. In my doings, I need to be very frank. I need to be close to everybody. I need not to be partisan. Yes, I must show my allegiance when it comes to party affairs. But outside,
Also, don't you think, yes, hence they are the one that actually give that support, also with the support of your hometown people or your constituent? Don't you think it's also good to actually be in line with the principles of the Democratic Party when you are dealing? Because every party has their own principles.
now I am to ask, what principles have I ever violated? This is the million questions, you know. I am coming up to build my justified points. This is what I am coming through. You have to be obedient and then be compliant, which I clearly know. The United Democratic Party principles did not deter anybody, you know, to affiliate or associate itself under democratic principles with anybody, right? You need to open up. As a liberal Democrat, you need to be open to everyone. I think we need numbers. And in getting these numbers, you need not to be hostile to your opponents. You need to be open to them. You welcome them. show them your kind attitude that will inspire them to join you, and which I've been doing. So many people have been lured from other political parties into the party that I was in, United Democratic Party, due to my own comportment. We all know you are a living witness of every election that walks into Bonto. Even if I am not at home, I will give my own side, and then I will make my own lobby in-house to make sure that, yes, even if you don't put on the yellow t-shirt or you don't sympathize with us, I am interested of your votes, right or wrong. Yes, and I've been convincing people to do that, and which people have been honoring me of. So, in doing so, there are some diehards that would want you to be painting yourself yellow and do everything. It's not that important. What is important is your effort, your output. Is not how you comport yourself. You could be yellow from head to toe without no impact. You can be somebody in the mufti, you be in green, you work hard for the party. So the thing is, this is what some members of the United Democratic Party fail to understand. If they don't see you in yellow, they compromise, they keep gossiping you, they keep talking bad about you, they keep labeling you. And coming down to my own constituency, in days before, they hardly conduct their meetings in public places. There are so many villages that they are not allowed to conduct their meetings in public places. But when I came into the party, because of the respect I had for people and the leaders within the Kombo East, the Alcalo Association, the chieftaincies, and some politicians that are influential, were able to give me that leverage, that freedom to make sure that we can do our things anyhow we want it. That's the understanding. Respect is reciprocal, my brother. Politics, yes, you can be any kind of a politician, but there is a level of respect that you should give to people, and they give same back to you. There is no day that I conducted my meeting anywhere that people will come and pack me up. That has never happened. So I cannot also be very aggressive to people that have given me that opportunity. I would walk ahead to work on my own political agenda to make sure that I increase numbers. What we need as a party is how many people would be willing to give their votes to the party, but not how many people put on t-shirts, how many people put flags on their fences and paint their houses yellow or have their seats green or white. No, that's not important. What is important is how many people have you got assured to be with you. That's politics. And that's what I have been doing. And I think that one was compatible to the principles of the party. Right? But to people that, in every, I must tell you one example in life. It was not something that everybody wanted to in 2022 when elections were about to. But when it was that easy that United Democratic secured that position here in Kombo East, many people stood up now thinking that it is as simple as I did. And now they started showing interest, and within the same constituency committee, they started putting on pressure. And kabudus, people are starting to, name their own aspirants. Now bringing disunity among ourselves and disrespect. And one thing I would not take for anybody, that is to disrespect me. If anytime anybody disregards me, you lost me completely. Because I would never attempt to disrespect any member or any person in society. But any day that anybody, even if you were to give me a bag of gold, keep it. I'm done. You see, respect is reciprocal. We need to be disciplined in our own activities, in our own behaviors, in our own approaches. But you cannot just elect somebody. You don't know how he won. If anybody who knows me here in Kombo East knows how much I invested to secure my position.
I could actually testify before you in fact get into politics. You've been helping so many communities here when it comes to the road and all the issues. I mean, but now what actually lingers here is, I mean, which is the multi-million-dollar question. Even though we are serving as the National Assemblyman for Kombo is on the UDP ticket, are you telling us still there are people within the United Democratic Party that we are actually trying to, I mean, campaign against you on the law to try to choose another aspirant or what?
Of course. My own constituency committee, it has been an issue taken right to the regional level. You see, when I resigned, I did not defect to go to any political party. I resigned and I remained to be an independent person. And I think constitutionally I have the right to do that. If I'm not comfortable for anything, who is there to stop me? For what? If anybody spent on me for this seat, I did more than that. You could attest to that. There was no, even the presidential candidate, the NPP candidate for Kombo East, could not have spent more than I did. Where did I get that money from? My own pocket. I am a victim of that today. But I did that because to salvage people. So if I went that far, I was expecting that same party to held up with me and recognize that effort. But the very day I was elected into office, that was the day they started building their kabudus, trying to show me that maybe I am a single individual that they can just handpick and lift out and throw. I am a different person. I've built myself before getting into that party. I'm a politician, a well-baked politician within my constituency. I have the rapport with my people before getting into UDP. I was not brought up, I was not groomed by the party. The party found me stable with my principles to walk alongside with them. And I was expecting them to know they are dealing with somebody that is already rooted. Do you understand? So I was expecting that maximum respect from that committee that I have been supporting, that I have been there for, entirely as their representative. But I was seeing lack of respect and lack of gratitude from the membership, which was escalated to the regional level, and they were contained. They started building it up. Now they started being rebellious to me. Surprisingly, even getting onto people that has never even stepped into my house to look for anything. And God knows, every candidate that went into contest for UDP during my time with them, I supported you. Not the councillors, not the chairmanship. But they had their press conferences accusing me of playing double standard. I am not that type of a person. I've been living my life alone. But it is not important. This is why I said, yes, I will get into politics when it is time for politics. I would not respond to certain things because I am elected to serve. And I'm a servant to serve. I'm not a politician to serve. Right? So, but there are so many pains that were implored on me that I could not bear.
Now, at some point, have you think of, addressing these issues to the executive level, or haven't you taken it to that level? Since it's a party, problems do occur, but then I think having dialogue, conversation around those issues to solve them, have you made any step to actually address those things?
That's what I am telling you of. The thing has been escalated through to the regional heads. The regional chairman seated the constituency executive. They bluntly refused. They kept accusing. They kept making sure that they justify their points.
What was their points?
That I am not loyal. One. Two, I am not adhering to them. And even if we are to get into constituency meetings, I would be funding them. Even if they are going out for their own sittings or their own regional meetings and the like, even their campaigns, I sponsor them. So I think I have done enough for them that they would respect me. Even if they don't like me, they want to depose me after 5 years, let them wait on the time. I think they should be civilized and matured enough to keep that alive and then keep the party stable to that point. Now you want to act rebellious against me. For my loyalty to keep me, you succeed over me after 5 years. I won't do that. I will go by the constitution to see what will favor me. And I'll do that. And that's what I did. I resigned from the party. And I think constitutionally it's my right. I cannot keep with that anger and that pain and still be serving that same party. I can't do that. I can't. My conscience would not guide me to do that. I must be somebody else to allow that one on me than being myself. And I think I did what is best for me, that is to resign from the party and keep peace. I would not be a contender to them anymore. Those aspirants are now free. After 5 years, they can come and face any other candidate that they will be facing. But it's not Abdou going for primaries on the UDP ticket anymore. So it has many meanings, you know. But I make sure that, you know, one thing I am telling you, I told you during the introduction, I have a life to spend. I have a life to live, and I have my own goals, and nothing distracts me. If you want to waste my time as a friend or as a partner or as a wife, I'll just leave you aside and then walk ahead. And that's what I did.
Good. You've said when you left UDP, you haven't defected directly to NPP, right? But before your resignation came out, we saw you and the president, took a photo. It went on social media. A lot of people have their opinions that, Honorable Sowe has shifted to NPP. And after that, Lord Mayor Talib paid you a courtesy visit. And then you told him that your visit to the president has nothing to do with, politics or whatsoever. Can you clear that part for us?
One thing I would tell you, the president, His Excellency Adama Barrow, had been known to me before being a president. I was a banker, you must know. He knows me through the bank, and he knows me very well, and I equally know him very well, right? I could fully remember early 2017 when he was in the Caraba Beach Hotel. I met him, and I was about to contest. He invited me. He asked me to drop and then let him give me a position too. I said no. The reason is I want to serve my people. And then he respected my opinion and said, yes, I respected what you said. Can carry on. He's not somebody that picked me because of my position. We've been knowing each other, not today. And then my reason for being at the State House was not anything political. It was national. I am here to serve and he's here to serve. Who will see a member of the UDP today in my house coming for an official function here, official mission, and you are accused of being a member of Abdou Sowe, that you are defecting, joining Abdou Sowe's camp? It's unfair to him. That State House is not Adama's home. That State House is a state nation. It's our first house. And the president is not anymore, I'm not seeing him as NPP. I'm seeing him as the head of state of this country. And I, being a National Assembly member, I think I have right to meet him anytime I wish. What will deter me? What will deter me from meeting a president as a National Assembly member? What will? And what will restrict me of visiting him or taking permission to go and see a president when I am voted to serve my own people with different backgrounds? As a member of Kombo East, I am not serving only UDP. Then I'm serving every citizen of Kombo East, young and old. Do they know what took me there? If they have seen me before they flout it on social media, why wouldn't they summon a meeting with me to ask me and justify? That one is at the extreme, but I would be willing to justify myself. But they started insulting my parents, they started naming me any names. That makes me, feel that these people are there to deter me. When Dalib came to my house, respectfully, I must commend him for his foresight. You see, anyone with discipline, you have blessings. He approached me with respect. He engaged me. They covered me. He's on social media. And I responded to him. My reason going to the president is not anything political. How many times had the mayor, Rohim Malik Low, visited Barrow or went to Manka Mankunda? Multiple times. Does it make her to be UDP, NPP? But because she's the mayoress of Banjul, she must have something that the president must assent to. or must acknowledge to. I think the president must not be an enemy to development, to deter every politician. But anytime you give him respect, it's reciprocal. You cannot be an opposition saying that you are an island. If we did not recognize him as our president, who are we? Would you want my opponents also to disregard me in Kombo East as not being their representative? Who will go to the parliament other than myself today? See, we have to be very reasonable. We have to understand the formulas of life. We are wasting people's time. My ego should not deter any member of Kombo East of your development. All right? It will take me any length. The only thing I will not do is I will not be going and then be kneeling down to be begging from people that doesn't deserve to be begged for anything. I will not be stealing for you. I will not be doing any double standard for you to gain it. I will go by the right channel. That's why I am elected into office. Right? My visit to the State House then, I went with somebody that is not even MPP. Do you understand? Why would I shy out from going there? If I shoot for an appointment and I got it at that time, a president, who am I to change that appointment time and tell him this is the best time for me? For political reason? I went for national. If they had wanted to know why, they should have called a meeting, summoned me, and then asked about it. I would have told them. I think severally, the party leader, Hussein Udaba, I've got him so many proposals before him. Even before getting it to the president, I would put it to him and sought for his blessing. He will encourage me.
So he was aware of your visit?
No. I'm not saying that particular visit. I said, if I have incidents that I am putting before him, why wouldn't I put it before a minister or a president? Why wouldn't I? So, I think I haven't gone any extreme or anywhere wrong. But the approach is because they were already ready for that. They thought they could have impeached me. They thought they could have. There were so many plots that they took towards me. Wow. You understand? Thinking that it is as easy as drinking that water during that 2-3 weeks campaign that we won. I did my campaign alone. There was no time that a member of the United Democratic Party team come to intervene in helping me to politic in my constituency. I was let alone. Wow. And I did it successfully to win. I was head of my campaign. The reason why the constituency chairperson followed me to defect is the same way. He knows. Anybody who knows about politics must know that these people fought their game. They thought they've got it over. But it is way more than that. They are yet to start even a battle. For Kombo East, I am telling you, it's where I hailed. And I have it well with my people. If you need it from me, take the right way to take it over from me. I'm not somebody that is desperate for the position. No. Today, if I see anybody that can do it better than I do, after 5 years, I will give it over to you and I will be behind you. Despite whatever party you comes from, I will rally behind you to help you succeed. What I need is a better constituency. It's not about myself.
That's very important. I think if all the National Assembly members have this mentality, I think all these, different constituencies will actually enjoy, and of course their MPs will definitely, their votes really will pay dividend for them just sending their actual representatives out there, because for the most part, what most Gambians see is our National Assembly members, most of them are either self-centered or only think about, the principles of their parties and support their parties instead of national interest. I think we all need to actually move from that level. I commended you for that, not thinking on party lines, but instead, the constitution that actually sent you there, because UDP alone cannot actually make you win a seat in the parliament. It's of course a collective responsibility within, Kombo is. And now, what are some of the opportunities you've seen, in NPP that you haven't seen in the UDP when you defected?
See, I am an independent candidate in the House of Parliament when I resigned, and my resignation letter was clear. and it was put very clear and vibrant. I was pissed up. I was not comfortable to work under that party's principles. Having gotten, I have a constituency committee that I should be working with. And these constituency committees and their kabudus and their godfathers are not people that I'm comfortable to work with anymore. Because
who are their godfathers?
they know better. They would know. You will get to know. If you want to do that, go and reciprocally interview them. They will tell you. They know. We are all politicians. Right. And once that one is showcased, I think I would have not been the best representative. And it is not only the UDP that voted me into office. There is trust from other ends, and I need to fulfill those trusts. I decided to take it well. Through the guidance of the Constitution, I guided myself and I designed my own resignation letter, and I put it across. I resigned. Now I am an independent candidate in the House of Assembly, but representative of Kombo East. Okay? Now, it is up to me now to independently represent my people. I can consult anybody. I can affiliate myself to anybody, even if the United Democratic Party brought in a good agenda in the House of Assembly. I have that independence to affiliate with them, to support them. I am in for good governance. I'm in for justified. I'm in for the principles of democracy and rule of law. Anything that comes onto the House of Assembly in the plenary that has interest for the Gambian people, I would simply vibe towards it.
In fact, that way I was about to ask, because hence you defected, so would that actually change whenever you bring good things, you will actually...
No, I'm not against. I am a nationalist. I am somebody that likes my country better. Nobody could be more patriotic than I do. That's what I believe in myself. I love my country, and I should serve my country. And I should be very honest to my country and to the people that sent me to the assembly. But who sent me to the assembly? People of Kombo East. So if I am to be there, I could remember there was a time when they brought in this public enterprise bill. You know, they confronted me, some people confronted me from the UDP, don't accept it. Why? And I asked why. Do you understand? I will not be voting or participating in acts and bills or any proceedings in the National Assembly based on party sentiments. I won't do that. I only saw my Gambia and I took an oath. I'm a Muslim. I'm brought up on those principles. Nothing could make me deviate that oath of office. To burn myself tomorrow, I won't do that for anybody. Nobody. Anybody you see me associated to has taken me fairly and justly. I want to be treated fair. I want to be treated good. I want to be recognized as somebody legitimate. So if you think you can bully me to get me under your armpit, you are joking. You must be joking. I won't accept that for anybody. I'm a representative of my people. I'm a servant of my people in the House of Representatives. If I sit there, I will consider those in the APRC, those in the UDPs, and those in the NPPs in that house because of Kombo East. So whosoever gives me that platform, I must affiliate to you. Yes.
Now, what is your relationship with with Honorable Lawyer Ousainou Darboe, the Secretary General of the United Democratic Party, before and now?
You see, he respected me very well. There is no day that I've faced him, we get together on other issues. I hardly visit him in his office because one thing I believe is I cannot be somebody that goes unnecessarily. I only visit when it is necessary. And I hardly go to visit him alone. But he always gives me good advices. He always prays for me. I always sought advices from him as a person. Okay, he gave me that maximum respect. He calls me my nephew, and I call him dad. I have that respect to him. and he equally had that same respect to me. And I think I still hold him high, and I still regarded him as my elderly and somebody that I can consult anytime I need it, right? Despite our political differences, he still remained to be a statesman of me. I recognized him as a statesman and an elderly person that deserves to be respected. That's it.
Good. That's right. That's right. That's very important. I think politics shouldn't actually divide us. People have their different political ideologies, but that shouldn't make us, I mean, argue over it or whatever. But then now, I wanted to ask this question. Since you actually assume office in the parliament, what are some of the developments that you can actually be proud of that you brought to Combo East?
Very good. Development for a parliamentarian is something that one need not to brag on because it's not your core duties. It's not some of the core mandates of a parliamentarian. Our work, our primary work is at the National Assembly. We are legislators. We are working on oversights to government. And I think reference would be the National Assembly select committees and standing committees that I am involved in. If you check into that membership, you get through their records, they would tell you, well, I'm an active participant and I'm an active contributor of each of these members. I'm a member of the Defense and Security Committee, same time member of the Trade Committee, Trade and Employment, and also a member of Education Select Committee. And I think in these committees, I'm also playing a very active role, and I'm very participatory, and we are cordially working together. The membership is apolitical. We work as a committee for a common goal, and I think if you look into the sectors of under our purview, you've seen a lot of improvement. One of them is in the education system, and also if you get into the Ministry of Trade, we were able to lay down a revised labor bill that is compatible to the labor crisis that people used to encounter during the old times. But with the invent of this, I think the Labor Act, the new Labor Act has addressed a lot of problems between employer and employee. And again, if you look into the relationship between, we do intervene, even the crisis between, the border crisis between Senegal and Gambia, that is the free movement of goods and services. We had, we made a tour to Dakar, and then we met the relevant authorities. We came up, and it was presented during the last session. So I think my core mandate as a representative of Kombo East is been, if I can say, it's been satisfactory. The only thing that they may think, many people may think would not be, is to raise your tag and then start to be talking about things that will inspire people outside. I only work by the principles of that standing order and the Constitution. What I am mandated of by the Constitution and by the rules of our standing orders in Parliament, I make sure that I am very noteful of the people I'm representing, their attitudes and characters as people of Kombo East, to make sure that I represent them. I be their mirror and their image in the House of Assembly. And I think among the 53 or 58 members that are being representing into the House of Assembly, I'm not an exemption. I'm not a dormant person. I'm not somebody that is set aside. I'm not somebody that would not be consulted of. So I think I've fitted my position in that seat for now. But if it comes to the, yes, extensively we have to be working on lobbying and looking for other things. But would we have enough time to do that as a parliamentarian, considering the tasks that are put ahead of us? If you are on sitting, after the sittings, you have your committee engagements, you have your rollouts, you have your budget bilaterals. So parliamentary works is a continuous process, okay? And I think my oath, the statements that I've read during my swearing in, were very, very conversant to me, and I am still noteful of those verses. And I think I should go by that first. But despite my busy schedules, I kept walking around to see what will be possible for my people. I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a legacy that is to make sure that I fairly represent my people. We know every year we are allocated with some constituency development funds, and these constituency development funds are being managed by the assembly staff and the office of the clerk and his staff. What you do as a parliamentarian, you identify projects that are fundable within the limits of the funds that you have been allocated. That is a $500,000 annually. It used to be in our first year, 2022, we found 300,000. Of these 300,000, they will have a less tax of 10% tax. That's 30,000 less from the 300. You expect a net value of 270 of service or a project that it can fund. Now we've raised it to 500,000, of which it will still attract a tax of 10%. That's 40. We're expecting a $450,000 project. Now, how it goes about? I think my folders are in the other house. I will open for requests from people within my constituency. That's my approach. Now, people, I have made it known to everybody, and this is for everyone. Now, they will send in their requests. If they send in their requests, I will now shortlist them. Now, once they are shortlisted, the priority ones that are accommodable within that budget, I will present that same to the National Assembly by filling a form and submitting it. Now, they would have to identify their own contractor to implement it, right? So all I have is for implementation. For the first year, 2022, I made some, initially when I get in, I had some applications. One of those key applications that I wanted to be served was the Kaira FM radio station. They brought in a request to replace their transformer, is it? And other gadgets. Then we made that request. We took it to the office of the clerk. They advised me that they don't fund second-hand products. They have to be brand new. So that one was laid off. Then the second option, at the dying minutes, I was about to lose that constituency development fund because I have to rewrite a request and bring it back to the parliament. Then I get to the other options was scholarship. Then scholarship for some university students. I have some promising students within the constituency who wanted to be given aid at the university to complete their courses. And that one also was disqualified by the same National Assembly. It's not part of the policy. Now I had to get onto the third option, that is to intervene in other shortfalls. That is the roofing of the Sotokoi Basic Cycle School. I sponsored them with some corrugated iron sheets and so, and Faraba Madarasa, I also sponsored them. A mosque in Kafuta Tumbung, I did. And I was also able to distribute 100 bags of cement. And it amounted to that. But when I get my assessment to these commodities that are being served, I valued them into money. I don't know what yardstick do contractors do, but I found that, look, it seemed to me that this could not be fair to my people. Then when it gets to the second time, that's last year, 2023, I had it very challenging with the office of the clerk that I need this thing, I need commodities. And these commodities need to be supplied. And I used a contractor who promised to be giving me these values at market price. Then I requested for, we know that people were crying out on water. There was water shortage, and I identified 6 points for them to give me their equipments. Then for the borehole, I use my own money to drill it. I had an MOU with a driller who would be drilling it for me and get these 6 at my own cost. But then the commodity, so that the value for money would be meant for my people. Because it pains me sometimes if I look into how it goes around. We all know how, yes, it is normal, it is as per the GPPA. You know, you cannot be a contractor without profit. But personally, as I just think it as a representative, I know what these commodities are costing in the market, and having them delivered at that cost, you know, sometimes makes me not to be comfortable. So I decided to come up with this idea, right? So they get me this equipment, and it went exactly that amount. Of this is Bonto here, where I live. There used to be some water shortages. You know, the other side of the road, the residents will cross the road, and it's not safe for traffic. You know, they send their small kids, they might get hit by car because they need water. And I decided to get them a borehole at the other side, and then have water sufficient for them. And I think it's something that is required to save lives. Then the same Bonto, their water borehole, then I have to dig them a borehole, and that borehole is docked already. But the materials, the equipments that are needed, the pipes and the stands and this, were also provided by the constituency development fund. But the borehole drilling is my own cost. Okay. Then I identified one in Faraba Banta who also faces the same problem. If you know Faraba Kairaba, when going outside Faraba, the other end they call them bunkeling. Yes, they face with the same problem. They will cross the road to go and get water. And I witnessed one incident that somebody was hit by a car because he went to get water at the other side. So I also provided them the equipment from the constituency development fund, and I will dig them a borehole. Okay, then you know Bonto, the inner part of Bonto too. There is a part that has water shortage. They said because the women came here to complain about they didn't have water for their garden purposes. You know, the policy, water system policy is that they don't allow people to use water for garden purposes at home. And that's their source of living. So they cried on that. I also provided them one. So making now 3. I get Niji and Duasu, Som, and then I got Kafuta. So making it 6 boreholes. Of these 6 boreholes, right, um, 3 have been docked, finished, because of, you must know financially how I may be constrained, because I'm not looking for donation from anybody. I didn't look for favor from anybody. I took it upon myself as a challenge that I should do it. So, and I think by the end of this rainy season, the orders will be completed, because digging a borehole this rainy season now, the water table will be higher. When it gets to the dry season, it may go down. So that will be an advantage to the contractor, but not to the users. So I wanted, when the rain stops, I will complete those projects. And this year's 2024, I got two essential requests. That is the Niji Women Garden. They are crying of having animals getting into their garden. They got their own request with their costing. And you know, Bonto Women Garden around the camp, also the other end of Tunjina is being fenced. The other end is yet to be fenced, and they are crying. Even this year, they said they were unable to harvest their cultivated gardens because of the animals have just getting in, because they don't have access to the other end. Now they have access to this end. So that one also, they send me a request, and we've costed it, and it is attached. So this year, these are the 2. But besides that also, when the community radio, Cloro, were constrained, and I already gave them a promise, I went ahead to look them for a transmitter, wherein we contributed. I think if I could understand, I should be contributing a 120,000 okay? Of that 120,000 will be from my own pocket. Yes, and it was 190,000 cost of a new transmitter. And then they got funding, they got aid from somewhere that they should have gotten a 70,000 on top of that 120 I am to provide. Now, yes, of that 120, I think I was able to provide 115,000. Oh, sorry, 105,000. All right, is it 130, 120? Yes, 105,000. The Yes, I contributed the 90. The 15,000 I paid them it back later. I'm yet to give them. Maybe I should be paying them back a 15,000 to complete my promise. But you know, a single-handed pledge, I don't go for. I am not good at going to people looking for favors to come and present them as my own. I don't do that. Anything I did for somebody is something that I gotten from myself. All right. So these are things that I engaged on. I've been intervening in some mosque works. One mosque at Kafuta Fulakunda, I took it upon myself to renovate it and then give it to a befitting condition that people can do it. It has been something that I've been doing all my life, and also yes, you know, I am not good at, I am not very good at.
Basically, you've been doing, similar projects well before you went to the parliament, right? But now one may wonder, how is, honorable able to do some of these things, with the help of the constituency fund, even though you've been using your own personal money? Do you have, a separate business aside other than politics?
Very good. It's a very good question. And in fact, it would, people must have wondered why is he not doing much this time than before. When I was myself and I was working on my own, I could do more because I got it upon myself. You know, as a businessman, I make more profit to get it back to people. But now I am a servant that is working to be paid salaries. And we know how salaries works. They are tied to many obligations. And the take-homes, the net take-homes that you have in your pocket to serve people sometimes, you are constrained. In fact, if you check into social media, when I newly defected into, I newly resigned, some members of the UDP started accusing and pasting my return checks. I give out people checks. I hardly get to the counter to cash money, let me tell you, from my salary. If you go to GT Bank, you ask them, my checkbook, I always replace it every month. I am a man of sentiment. I feel about people. If you get me this, I'll give you, you go and struggle with them. If you find it encast, you know that it's not your child, but it's not something I committed myself business-wise to give it over to you. So it's like the salaries are not enough for me now to stand that point to do it as I used to do it. I do feel this. So in fact, this is what has motivated me to go outside, not to lobby for people, yes, my people are poor, help me give this, let me go and do. I'm going to expand my business, my partnership with people worldwide, to make sure that I win back the glories of my day, to be somebody that will be doing for people. And at the same time, bring investment for my country. Because I could fully remember the first SONA speech that the president gave in 2022 have inspired me very well. Because under the statement, under his closing remarks, he said he is challenging National Assembly members to serve as ambassadors, not only to be legislators, to encourage investors to come in. And this thing keep ringing in my mind because I was a banker in business development. Makes sense. Because if you are an honorable member, holding a diplomatic passport, traveling out with honor, being somebody that can speak, that can enter in most places, why won't you get into your riches and then sit people, tell them about your country, encourage them to come to country, to Gambia and invest? I've been doing it. Most of our recess periods, I travel out at my own expense. and I sell about my country, I sell about the opportunities that are available. And I assure them of fair treatment. And the peacefulness of our country is what I will make reasons to justify that it is one of the best places to invest in the sub-region, or even in the region. And that has inspired so many. And so many of these proposals are put on the table. And I think, at worst, we may have even one. And if that one comes, maybe it will change the status quo. All right? That's an extra mile as a representative. If you had that opportunity, you would have. So why wouldn't I do when I have the opportunity? So this is how I see things, right? So I think I am not a politician that should be held accountable. This is voluntary and personal. But I think with time, it will show dividend. Yes, and at least side by side with government, I would also be standing up to say, okay, this is what I brought. Yes, one thing I am not very good at is I do wonder sometimes how people lobby sometimes. You know, it's good to lobby, but it's good to lobby with dignity. It's good to lobby with dignity. You see, we should be very, as politicians, and I'm also giving this thing across to charity organizations. They should be very fair in whatsoever they are doing. If you come into this country and you are given license to serve the poor or the needy, I think it will be very fair not to hand it over to a politician to help him, you know, have some political gain over his people when he need to personally, independently go out and get something for his people, but only to be at your back, to wait for your projects. You have them, you get them, and he will dictate you where to establish this project. It's not fair to the needful people of this country. And I am not a politician that will be going after those institutions to bring development for my people. If you need them, and if they really mean what they are, they should consult the relevant authorities and relevant offices. We have churches and mosques, you have pastors and imams, you have heads of schools and heads of madrasas that these charity organizations could go after, could allow to knock into their offices to explain their problems and be distributed, but not to politicians. Be given this and you start to display them in your own areas of interest, depriving the most needy people for your political scores. This, you've never seen me doing that, and I will never do that. I'm a very fair politician. I am not looking for cheap popularity. I'm a servant to serve, and I think it's about time for government to put regulations to make sure that these charitable organizations fall in the hands of the needy people than falling in the hands of politicians. Yes.
Good, that's quite important. I think we are almost to the end of this program, but I wouldn't do justice if I don't engage you with this question. Recently, we've seen Bonto is one of the few communities that haven't benefited from the rural electrification. I mean, what do you think went wrong? Or, I mean, how far has this thing has been going on?
Thank you very much. My hometown, yes, because I'm not being biased. You see, this electrification project is apolitical, all right? It's a nationwide electrification project. And I think I should commend the government of the day of being very fair and sincere to the Gambian people, and which I think people are yet to put their eyes on to understand. You see, the distribution system of this electrification project is played in such a way that they put this thing through the then Minister of Energy, Abdou Sowe, who created a database list, a group of all the MPs. Then I was in the UDP. And then he consulted us all on the fair distribution, irrespective of which party you come from. And that is commendable to a government. And he makes sure that it is floated by priorities and interest. When it comes to Kombo East here, 18 communities were given. Now, for Bonto not to have its own expansion project, the problem for the Bonto expansion project is my home. I wish I did not say it on camera, but since you put it to me, and I engaged the Alcalo and the VDC, you see, we should be also very organized as a community. Our streets are not clearly marked. The houses are sparse. You allow me to do my work, and I'm very Alcalo and the VDC. You see, we should be also very organized as a community. Our streets are not clearly marked. The houses are sparse. You have houses that are sparse. You have big orchards, and unfenced, undeveloped. So it will be very difficult for a drone to survey and get it required. And the number of poles that are required to expand Bonto were not to that standard, to the requirement. Now what they did was, since we had a transmitter and electricity is flowing already, they went into the priorities. You could see Omorto Niji had never thought of having electricity to you, right? You have the expansion in Mandinaba and other places. You see how these expansions are. Now, the first phase of that project went into priority areas. You have a settlement catchment, all right? Now, Bonto was not to that. We know Bonto is spread all to Karafi, but you hardly see houses, all right? So, and then the drone captures settlements. You understand? And if you look at our settlements, the way they are within the inner part of Bonto 2, are settlements that are sparse. Before, from house to house, you may need 3-4 poles just for one house. And when other 10 houses are waiting for the same service. Makes sense. Makes sense. So being very fair. But what they did is, when we went back to make a follow-up with the minister, now the second phase was about to come. That is, the president has given this challenge that come 2025, the whole of West Coast must be electrified. No, Kombo. Okay? Now, I was told and assured between 2024 and 2025, poles will be erected in my constituency to the level that I will go back and say this pole is not even necessary to be here because of the priorities. Do you understand? The priorities in the sense that it is now considered to be one of the fastest growing area, settlement area. You know, so for them to get in and start doing, then I went in. Now I was assured between this year and next year, even if they bought poles, concrete poles, and they erect, poles will come and supersede them. The same project is coming down for service in Bonto, Faraba Banta towards that, and Kabum. You know, very few communities are now left unelectrified. And I think I had the database. I was also in engagement with the Director of Energy, Kemo Sise, who also had it very well with me. But shouldn't be somebody that will be on social media and then be disclosing all these things and then be shouting. See, development comes under disciplines, right? You know, you have to understand, you know, the procedures as an administrator to know what it takes, right? So I think my people of Bonto, I owe them a lot. And I am a citizen of Bonto. And one reason why I get into politics is to salvage my own people. And you are on my priority list. And I will make sure that, you know, the 5 years that I am serving, there will be dividend. It might be late, yes, it is in the hands of God. But I am making sure that I have a special care for my own environment, people that I live with, because for the first time, a National Assembly member being hailed from Bonto for Kombo East, I should also, you know, leave a legacy and make people inspired about politics. Why would it be important? So that even without me tomorrow, young people will also be inspired to bring development through politics. So, and I think I will be in that, and I will got the support, you know. that the required services are needed. Not only electricity that we need our women gardens,
Exactly.
and we had problems at the at the riverside. You see the erosion the Muktara holding has caused, and I'm taking that one with government to make sure that even if they reconsider that WAF, and also to compensate the people of Bonto for their rice fields and the lost rice field and lost banana plantations, because it's all because of desalination that has been blocked. The easy flow of water from the east to the west had no more because of that passage. And I've been engaging, but I cannot get to social media and start be shouting this. That's one. Two, we had a wasteland around the swamps, and we are engaging the Ministry of Fisheries to at least bring in fish farming, to have an alternative to the lost farmlands to fish farming. And these are things that government is willing to do and they are ready to do. And I think, yes, I think with my conscience and which I know I always feel a victim. I always feel my people being victims of voting me into office. So I know my environment even without being told. I'm held here and I know. You understand? So
That fish farming thing, I think it will be very helpful here. And I used to tell people out there, I used to brag about it. Bonta is a home of seafood, fruits, and vegetables. So having this farm here, I think it will actually help the village.
the swamps, the salty areas, the swampy areas now, the mangroves were one-time farmlands when we were young. We used to play football in the midst of those swamps. Then they were not swamps. So I know how degraded our lands are, and then to make good use of them, because the people of Bonto were busy in their gardens making millions of money. Wealth was in Bonto without even traveling to Brikama. They hardly go, and they make their lives here. So I know what we have lost, and to compensate that loss, we will look into something compatible, that is palatable to our own needs and the demands that is needed in the economy, so that we'll also sign a name again. We used to be the champions of bananas in the Kombos. Now we will also transform it to another thing. So these are things that I need to work. All I need to do is, all I am urging my people to be focused, to still maintain that trust. You know, I am a servant and I am held here. That energy is still in me. But let them stay away from politics. You understand? Let them stay away from politics. The reason why I'm not too political in my own constituency is to bring peace, because it's a mixed society. The dominance of people cannot be identified. People are mixed in their feelings, in their races, in their tribal, in their everything. So if you bring in politics into the constituency, it will be a very divided society. So this is why I become somebody very modest. I reserve myself so well, because I know if I lead it, others will follow, and it will be a competitive environment in politics, and that one will bring so many, disagreements to people. And to maintain it peace, let eyes be on me, but allow me to do my work. And I'm very conversant that by the end of my 5-year term, I will register some development in my constituency that will last for many years as a legacy.
Good, that would be great, and then we are looking forward to it. And also, this particular question is from our drivers. I mean, they've been crying about the issue of the road. I mean, from Bontokoto coming here, we've seen, I mean, every year almost, you must do something to actually address it. But then, like, community, let me speak this in Mandinka, for, of course, to hook them up. Allah kisno munyinte, Allah kunga abdu nyinin kamenna. Abe munekela mola bonto silo nyina kabona sate bako na kanalang mano nyinka bawo alka kolia kol min so nyin silo nyinga sakatu masama kono. Even though over the past not long ago, I could remember from few weeks back, I and you were actually there silo nyin capsule nyim potol so nyim feel kan. I understand. Now they are asking you for them. Do you have any plans for them to address these long lasting menace?
Drive for le nyinin kawal. Afo nin silo dadar. Ani sise kana fa silo ka. You see, drive for fanambe danila ku kilina ya kata. Idunya bonto sometimes. Balakando ning kalafikilianol ning kakodo mek. Ise boroke dindingol sani school ole biji dindi merangol ka bojang katama muskebal be tamala silol kan ani ka boro min ke recklessly ye keku ka mol niyo tora ni mo kilina sise fango fa silo kan jang ya batandile because wula la jikoti mol man firing mol man sotoki sako eta mola ba fa waran ni so waran falo wara eta mo fango la mo taki that's the worst so isa kata silo be dokula be min to jang sawo sanka kelenu bari wato abdullah fengole babulu contractor businessman na gredal bembulu na masingol bembulu nka wulile ngake mobe mbuka koma jibe bari silan karifa jole bembulu wo karifa jo commitment on minu ba kono nin kombe concentrate la jang dol finance kumbo so but then nga plan min ke wolum ni ministry of works diamuta because if abenuna supplementary na supplementary questions la nung during the last ordinary session second ordinary session ni road lining risk jamale to jang amanke jim bonto silo dronte nin samabe busala jang nin silo towards kabo banju kabo yundum kata fo jara soma nin silo mam making min kenum giya be bota sila dandangol motol buka jino fanka mochi ka waranka mo selen ye bonto motol jele say ni bota bonto e seleta jang kabrim famata jam back fil la fu nga dada e ka seleni janna say ka tamale ta almost 200 meter na manota because of silo la tinya so nyimbe hakilo kono amanke bere trip killing fula etantan ko silal commande najal ba tap tap la fita e ke a professional job ti ni ministry of works diamuta mim marata ni road signage ni fenkola mim toni kaita nga fay nga dani ko ay fu grade la so I also spoke to CSE ibe bere biola jana atundi best jang brefet I am pledge 10 trip la ñu moto jang wo 10 trip on left men na wolom Johnson ku ngoto jang nga jang backfield 5 nga la fenko landscape nying data nga portfolio nying sare 10 trip o danta dawda nyinang al salonko mfanan sembo e wole no nga mirako ni wo keta alla Johnson ku ngoto be bete ala le abe tamala le so wo ku kilingo le fanan ning piranna vile si fanan diambre la Johnson auto pour aik so ngamin emphasize wolum la vitamin na motol se pak no dawda ka kilianol chika Kombo isto mba make sure ni ministry of works ye diam nga wodulal hani man silo bela dandangol fenke sojang bari a special parking soto se manobula no damin completely bawo nyin silo trokol ka tamajang ika bero chika buka break soto moto bal ka bojang jam jannom basenim banjul la siloti motol ka bori jang recklessly so laftan na moli tankam be tankala nyaadi wolo nga wo temporal solution nyinala ahead of ministry of works ko be road wing sol nying dadala ni be wo dadala kote ke anytime ay ke general dada road so far fo bonton kole ko in fact e nyabo yalo nga fay is taking charge of it yen so bero nyinale fuka pare ani moto bañu fanam bakela ning CSI la kuare manager nying fanang diam tani kunu ako abe nying weekend kono jibela jeni motol be busy la kotek ibina la jaybe bero nyin kala very soon al bajel baren lafta e doku professional manke ngana nga jurma janka pelo tanka dim I want it to be done nga kenu nyami wo sangola ay compact ay dada ay bambang bari na keta dukare drive fanan kana tuja e mol niyo kuyandi yaje silo ala bete abalia ay mo jamal tanka jande molbe kumbo kam bar ni nyin sumu taje be dindingol jele be bori sifa be kala jang isita mo mantora al fanansi diama alla drive ole ko ninga keta irresponsible because ni loi jibe asiketa mo faja ko mo le taki ite any criminal charges sotola so ya kata I fanansi akata ya lonko ni aje dol fanam man sawarno ayke ibe niol le tankakan dindingol le kata jang school balle ka kuntum molle ka saun kordani kordai dalita tamala nyanta tamala wole nyam nyin silo ena e doku jayna modol mantora jang man ala dani wala woto tol fana nabe dokula ya kata yake mol hakili malti minu ya lonko be nyin silo use la ning kulo ni fama jiola moto man kum moto so that's my advice.
Good, thank you so much, Honorable. My uncle last, but maybe last, my final last, do fana nyini kala ko take. I mean, now what are your long-term, political, ambition?
Thank you very much. Politics is a way of life. Kafuko, I retired in politics. You may retire in political positions, but once a politician, always a politician. Ibetar lela larang on your sick bed, molbe consultant. You are giving them political advices. So politics mukulete ni dunta kono. There is no way you can live it. Atije, you cannot be. I am a politician and I will remain to be a politician. But yes, with these political positions, fine. Mbella Philip Minna Wolom to make sure let people walk into politics. You do political con, especially the young ones. Fontol finance batin yintanga hand over Itulia successfully. Yata. But they need to be apprentice in politics. Being an apprentice in politics doesn't mean you have to be a social media flouter or somebody that comments in social media will criticize. There is an application in politics. Let them get into politics to learn it better. Because an unprofessional politician is as dangerous as an unprofessional doctor. And the Wolebentol Batandikang in our politics today. There are many so-called politicians that are not professional in their politics because they didn't know the applications of politics. Ibe more politely, ibe more misguided, ibe more mislead, thinking that they could be the best when they are the most ignorant in that field of politics. You could be best in another field, but you could be more ignorant in the field that you are interested in. So Wokamala let people walk into politics. Politico fana manke diamu nendiani kuma dima fort. Politics, you must know who the people are. You must know your environment. You must know your people. What do they want? How do you want to speak to them? How can you win them? These are all skills that you need to learn. You cannot post threats on people thinking that people will fear you to like you. People will hate you more. So politics here approaches Lesotho Alonko. They are very positive and productive. Nima long, you keep misguiding yourself, you keep misleading yourself, and then be misleading others. And God forbid, we need a continuous country that is on growth than a mixed feeling country. Alonko people will start to build hatred and other things. So until a political career is endless. But my political ambition in political position has an end. Because my core ambition and obligation is to be somebody that could serve the needs of the people. And serving it is by dipping from my own pocket legitimately and then be helping people to grow. Yes.
Should we see, honorable contesting for another term in the parliament come next parliamentary election? On the NPP ticket, because I have NPP, you are no longer in UCP.
I'm an independent candidate.
As of now?
As of now. I could be for anybody.
Good.
One thing I'm going to tell you, wait, I'm telling you. I was not known to be a favorite candidate for the UDP before 2022. Many people didn't know my presence in the United Democratic Party. And again,
is it because you were not supporting the activities or what?
No. I've been in the train. I have my approach. Maybe my approaches are always different. I have not been in the social media to be bragging and salvaging, but then I've been in the forefront running for support, making sure that things work. And that was what I like, and nobody stopped me from doing it. Now, when I disassociate myself with it, I could associate with anybody. Now, seeing me under any other ticket tomorrow would be just like I told you. I can do with anybody that has intimidated, harassed, or tried to show me signs of betrayal. I work with anybody, and I know every political party in this country has a national interest. And if it is compatible to my own seeing, I'm good to go.
But currently, are you not affiliated to NPP?
Like officially?
Officially.
Of course, yes.
Good. That is why I said, so in case you're supposed to stand for a parliamentary, run for a parliamentary election or sit in Kombo, it is obvious that currently, if nothing has changed, like you said, you are a man of principle. If your principles has not been shaken or touched, would you still stand on the NPP ticket if they're choosing you to represent them, to represent the people of Kombo in the parliament, or would you consider, giving chance to somebody?
Yes, we are yet to get to that time. I said I will assess myself. Before anybody disqualifies me, I will disqualify myself first. If I know I can't do it any further and I can't serve it better, I would not be looking upon my interest to stay. I will give up. You see, because I thought I can do it, and I still have time to be doing it. If at the end I could not do it, I will declare myself that I'm incompetent. I will not be shameful to that. I have other better things to do. I can walk my life ahead, but I cannot be a stumbling block to the development of my people. That's obvious, right? I cannot be somebody that will be too selfish to hold on to something that I know I can play it better. Somebody else can do it much better than I do, and I hold upon it. No, I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not the best. I might not be the best, but I'm doing my best. At the end, if my best is not being the best, I'll give way. No problem.
That's cool. But anyway, you hardly see that in African politics or Gambia specifically. But now, what is your reaction to the current, 2024 draft constitution? I mean, it arouses mixed feelings, among Gambian people. I mean, we've been yearning for a constitution since the new government came in. But then now, we all could remember the 2020 draft, was kicked out. And now here we are, the 2024 draft constitution. The issue of term limit has been a major issue on public domains. Now, as a National Assembly member and somebody with authority at some point, what is your reaction to the current draft constitution?
I think people are just being preempting themselves. You see, always work on something when it is due. We are all looking forward to a new constitution, a compatible one that suits the interests of the Gambian people, not the interest of few. You understand? And as a Gambian, I think, and as a National Assembly member, I am sitting awaiting on the presentation of that draft constitution before me, and I go over it. I may not dig over it in advance because it can be withdrawn. It can be unpresented. But one thing I am trying to make people to understand it. Let people not preempt. Let them not preact. People should be very concurrent, and people must be very current in whatever they are to take. They have to do things on time. You cannot preempt something, you start flouting it, thinking that it will work this and anything has time. The constitution is proposed, is announced, but me as a representative of people, I must tell the people of Kombo East, it is yet to be in my hands. If it gets to my hand, I will make my necessary consultation. I'm not going to speak on my own. I'll be consulting my people that I'm representing to buy their ideas, to consult them duly, and then there I will come and summarize my own view, compare it with my own seeing, and I'll be able to respond on the draft constitution. But who am I to start to say when I didn't see any clause? I just see it, had people talking about it, discussing about it. I'm not being fed with this officially, and I'm an official. I'm an official. I think I can only speak on things that are put before me. Yes.
So, anyways, that actually bring us to the end of this exclusive interview. Echoes of the elect with Honorable Abdou Sowe, the National Assembly member for Kombo East, who is actually serving the people of Kombo East. As you all know, he was in the United Democratic Party, and he stipulated very well what are some of the reasons that actually, made him actually quit or leave the party for the interest of his own principles and his own integrity. So I've been your host, Modlamin Job. Keep watching Gambian Talents TV. And before we go, we have to actually thank the Honorable, because when the first time I called him, he immediately granted me an interview. But then all of a sudden, something came up. I traveled to Senegal and do my personal, mission and all that. But then he texted and asked, come on, but I haven't heard from you. I said, excuse me, I apologize for that. But then now I call him again. And in no wasting much time, he gave me the time to actually interview him. I think if our public officials, people that are representing us are open to the media to actually speak to us, it will be very important. As you all know, we are all partners in development. So, Honorable, thank you so much for granting us this interview.
Thank you very much. I must also thank you and thank the entire staff and the management of Talents TV. I've been following you on social media, and I will advise you to keep it up, be informing people, and then be just fully informing people. And yes, I know journalism doesn't compart with politics, but affiliations are also made understood. Try to be neutral. The best thing about media is to inform people independently, to make sure that the realities are being known and people understand it. That's what I know about journalism, and I think side by side, if you remain neutral and we remain fair, and the executive remain to be scrutinized and then to be held accountable, I think we will have a better country. And I think you can only hold somebody accountable if you treat him fairly. Yes, if you treat him fairly, he will understand you are treating him fairly, and he will return treat you very fairly. So we shouldn't be hostage. We shouldn't be hostile to one another. We should be friends. We should be partners in every walks of development. And I think the politicians and the media must be compatible. But we must be compatible in the truthful and the most fair and justful manner. And finally, to the people of my constituency, Kombo East, I am once again thanking everyone, and I am still reassuring you of my loyalty to the people of Kombo East, and my representation is of no doubt that I am representing you and your interests at the National Assembly to make sure that whatever is being consulted on you is what I always implement. Fine, you might not be seeing me speaking to the, raising my tag most of the time and speaking. You know, in speeches, there are times for speak, and there are times for contribution, and there are important times not to waste your energy. And there are so many noises and activities that I am not compatible with. So I might not be somebody that will try to remind myself to the people of Kombo East by raising my tag and then be flouting to be reminded of my standing orders. I will make sure I will serve you within the guides of the Constitution and the standing order rules in the House of Assembly to make sure that I will never embarrass you, because a game player that is always a flag being raised for being offside or foul player is not a good player. So I don't want to make you record to reduce the scores of the constituency. Instead, I would leave you to the position that you are. For somebody to succeed me, to come in and have it graded well. Thank you very much, the people of Kombo East. I thank you. I thank you.
Thank you.